Good morning and welcome to the February edition of our webinar series. Today, we'll be running through the PaperCut feature Print Deploy. And on the call, we have some of the Selectec team and Matt Lee from PaperCut. Let's begin. Print Deploy. It's time to simplify print queue management. PaperCut Print Deploy automates the time-consuming, frustrating tasks of setting up print queues and deploying print drivers. And because it's PaperCut, it's done in the simplest, most user-friendliest way. Print Deploy is the answer to your print queue deployment needs. Complexity in the managed device environment has made deploying drivers and queues really painful for IT. The modern mobile workforce moves between sites, branches, stores, or campuses, and when arriving at a new site, the expectation is for printing to just work. Distributed sites might not have print server infrastructure. These days, users have a choice of laptops. It used to be the case where new staff members were handed a Windows computer when they joined an organization. These days, it's very common for new staff members to be asked, "What computer would you like?" giving them a choice of Windows, Mac, and nowadays even Chromebooks. This means that IT teams now have to enable printing on all these different operating systems. Lastly, computers are not necessarily joined to a local domain. Google currently has over 5 million G Suite customers, adding more than 1 million customers a year. These are entire organizations. Azure AD currently manages over 700 million users. Unfortunately, when it comes to printing, these organizations are forced to install a local Active Directory, manage users and passwords locally, and sync these to the cloud. So it's holding them back from getting the full benefits from the cloud identity management systems. So what is PaperCut's solution? It's Print Deploy. Print Deploy takes the complexity out of print queue deployment by getting the right driver and the right print queue to the right person in the right location automatically. Use Print Deploy when you have multiple locations, for example, branch offices, retail sites, and campuses, which have few IT resources available on site. Or when you have users moving between locations, needing access to printers on demand. Maybe you use serverless or direct printing and want a simple way to deploy print drivers and print queues to your users. Maybe you have a mixed computer environment and want an easy way to enable printing on all of them, no matter the operating system or end user permission level. Or maybe it's for when you don't have computers joined to a local domain, for example, Google Cloud Directory or Microsoft Azure AD. So how does it work? First of all, you set up a reference computer, which contains the print queues, drivers, default settings, and capabilities. Make sure you can print. Run the Cloner app, which bundles the printer queues, drivers, and default settings so that you can push it out to end users. In the app server, configure your deployment zones. A zone is typically a branch, store, or campus. For each zone, connect the print queues you want to deploy and hit Save and Deploy. Thirdly, set up your end users. Push a small Print Deploy client app to all your users. Either install manually or use your favorite deployment tool like SCCM, GPO, Jamf, Intune. The client app runs as a service in the background and checks for new printers and print queues at startup every 15 minutes and when the network changes. For example, when someone enters a new branch and joins the network, their print queues will be automatically deployed in the background. By the time they've opened their document, their print queues will be installed, helping to make them super efficient with no interruptions. And finally, step 4 is to just sit back and relax and enjoy the sudden silence on your support line, because print queues will just magically appear on computers. Here's a different high-level view of the steps just described. On the left, you can see the reference computer with the queues that are cloned. When cloned, the queues, drivers, default settings, and finishing options are pushed to the app server, which you can see in the middle. In the app server interface, you manage your zones and connect the print queues you want to deploy to each zone. A zone is typically configured for each branch by IP range. Once you hit Save and Deploy, the queues are pushed out to your branches. On the right, you see two examples of a branch. In one branch, users are printing via a server, and with Print Deploy, these server queues are automatically installed. Branch Office 2 is an example of a site that doesn't have a print server. Print Deploy works great for these sites as well. When a direct print queue is present, the Print Deploy will automatically install and configure the PaperCut Direct Print Monitor, which will track printing on these queues. But it will also enable Find Me and Secure Print Release. In both examples, whether printing via a server or not, computers don't have to be joined to a local domain. So what's in it for you? Well, here are 7 ways that Print Deploy reduces your IT support woes. It saves you time by deploying queues and drivers easily at scale. It reduces support tickets with an automated solution that's no touch for end users, even as they move between sites. Print Deploy will help save money on purchasing, maintaining, and supporting on-premise Active Directory just to deploy print queues. It reduces the effort needed to deploy drivers and queues to Windows and Macs, Chromebooks, and Linux. Creates value with one complete solution for print management and print queue deployment. And it removes risk because it's from an organization with over 20 years experience in print management. And another benefit for your users is that it increases end user productivity with automated setup and printing that just works. When used as part of the PaperCut MF deployment, you will truly be able to manage your print environment. You'll be able to enable, track, control, and charge for printing, scanning, and copying. Now, there's only one solution you'll ever need for print management and print queue deployment. But what if you have a VDI environment? VDI users had to search through every printer installed on their server, particularly problematic in large organizations that might have thousands of devices. The Print Deploy client is now location aware, so users can be served only the relevant printers they need. Easier for users to find the printer they need no matter where they are, reducing their IT support load and cost. Customers are embracing VDI to reduce their IT support and infrastructure costs. Now, Print Deploy helps them do exactly that for VDI printing. It reduces the IT support load for VDI users by getting users the right printers based on their physical location, saving time and money. It's for enterprise at any scale, and it also works amazingly for healthcare environments too. The PaperCut MF Print Deploy client is now integrated with desktop virtualization server platforms from Citrix, VMware, and Microsoft. Virtual desktop users now get the right printers based on their physical location, even when their desktop session is virtual, no matter their device. This includes users on Chromebooks, tablets, mobiles, and even macOS devices when they connect to a Windows virtual desktop. Get that right printer to the right print queue, to the right person, in the right location every single time, even on virtual desktops. This functionality does require PaperCut MF23 or newer, and it is not available for older versions or for PaperCut NG. It also requires the purchase of the new Print Deploy SKUs. So as I have already mentioned this morning, PaperCut MF will give you everything you need in one package, enabling users to print across managed, bring your own device and mobile devices. Enhance security through secure print release, print archiving, and digital signatures. Saving the environment and costs at the same time through quotas, print policies, stopping uncollected documents, and promoting more environmentally friendly printing options. It's super powerful and easy to use integrated scanning. Easy to scan to cloud storage like Google Drive, Salesforce, OneDrive or more, or scanning to email or local storage. And with PaperCut's OCR, your documents will become smart text searchable and editable documents. Need to manage a print room or 3D fabrication lab? With job ticketing, you get a powerful job submission tool, which can be charged back to existing printing budgets. PaperCut MF is one complete solution for print management and print queue deployment. Thank you, as always, for listening to our webinar this morning. I hope you found it useful and interesting. It was just a scratching the surface of what Print Deploy enables you to do. So make sure you get in touch with myself or anyone else in the Selectec team, because we're always here to help you. So make sure you are using our in-house knowledge and expertise to help you add more value to your customers and win more business.